Welcome to Pints, Plates and Passports, and welcome to Transnistria. Any visit to Moldova wouldn't be complete without a visit to this breakaway region, the land that time and maps forgot. Nestled between Moldova and Ukraine, it's a self-declared republic with Soviet vibes so strong, Lenin himself might swipe right. Hammer and sickle flags. Lenin statues. Soviet mosaics. Plastic money and a monument to Baron Munchausen flying on a cannonball. It's like the Cold War never got the memo, it ended. A place with its own flag, its own army, government, currency, passports. It has its own national day, but without any international recognition. It's like a geopolitical ghost town with surprisingly good cheese. More about that later. Talking of their currency, they used to have plastic coins, the only country in the world to do so. Unfortunately, these are hard to find now as tourists have been taking them out of the country and not bringing them back. But they've been replaced with notes. And here we have some real Transnistrian rubles from the country that doesn't really exist. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you how you can get one for free. No scams, no strings, just a little piece of Cold War cosplay for your collection. Our day began with Roman Gurin, our guide that we'd organised beforehand, picking us up at Chisinau train station. We'd just spent 14 hours on a sleeper train from Bucharest. I use those words sleeper train very loosely. Crossing into Transnistria feels less like entering a country and more like stepping into a Cold War time capsule. There's a border checkpoint complete with uniformed guards, Cyrillic signs and a vibe that says we take our unrecognised sovereignty very seriously. It's a surreal experience. We're passing a border that technically doesn't exist. You don't get a passport stamp. Instead, you're handed a migration card, which you must keep until you leave. Lose it and you might be explaining yourself to someone with a very large hat and very few smiles. And yes, they have their own passport, but good luck trying to use one if you're outside of this strip of land. And another thing, Roman, our guide, informed us that once we're past this checkpoint, we can no longer say Transnistria. We have to call it something like the Transnistrian Moldavian Republic. It was easy for him to say. Anyone heard using the name, I better not say it, Transnistria, could be fined or even imprisoned for continual use. But in our case, smooth as Cavint brandy. Roman, our guide, handled everything. We barely had time to finish our "are we really doing this" look before we were waved through and unofficially inside. It's like entering a parallel universe where Lenin is still trending. First up, Bender Fortress, built to keep invaders out, now mostly keeping pigeons in. Today, the fortress is under the de facto control of the unrecognised breakaway region of Transnistria. The site has been partially restored and is open to the public, featuring a history museum, a museum of medieval torture instruments, and monuments to historical figures like Baron Munchausen flying in on a cannonball. Not far from here is the USSR Soviet canteen. These Soviet-style cafes serving authentic Russian food, super popular with tourists and locals alike. Take a look around at all the Soviet memorabilia in here. Close by is the famous Gorky Cinema and the Lenin statue opposite. They are both classic Soviet-era landmarks. The Gorky Cinema is a relic of Soviet entertainment, named after Maxim Gorky, the writer who made misery poetic. The building itself is a brutalist beauty, with a facade that whispers, "We once showed propaganda and maybe cartoons." It's still operational, although screenings are rare and mostly local. Directly opposite the cinema stands Vladimir Lenin, gaze fixed on a future that never quite arrived. Installed in 1951, it's one of the few surviving Lenin statues in the region. Locals pass it daily, barely noticing. But for visitors, it's a surreal reminder that in Transnistria, history isn't just remembered, it's still happening. This once grand ticket hall at Bender Station once buzzed with Soviet-era rail traffic. Today, it's a ghostly monument to movement that's long since stopped. It really was a grand building. You can see it in the clock face at the top, the marble columns, the plaques above the doors. It's a shame to see it in state of decay. It should be revamped and reused as a museum or something. And outside, a decommissioned Soviet steam train turned into the Bender Military Museum. 3 carriages packed with Soviet militaria, uniforms, weapons, medals and maps. All curated by a team of elderly women who speak only Russian. You won't understand a word, but you'll feel the pride. History is on track, even if the train isn't. 2 more great Soviet monuments are here next to the train, one at the front and one at the back. The large concrete monument at the back is commemorating the 1918 Black Fence Massacre. It refers to a mass execution of local Bolshevik fighters, many of whom were railway workers, along a fence near the locomotive depot. The one at the front shows 3 generations of railway workers and is part of the memorial to the revolutionary military and labour glory of railway workers. In the heart of Bender stands a solemn tribute to sacrifice, the War Memorial Complex. The memorial square is well looked after. It includes a tank monument, eternal flame, chapel, cross, and a memorial wall with the names of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Transnistria doesn't just preserve history, it leaves it parked on the roadside like a forgotten prop from a Soviet film set. Take this police stop tower in Bender, a rusting perch above a road, once used to monitor traffic or perhaps just to feel important. It's like a Cold War lifeguard chair minus the beach and the sunscreen. And then there's this concrete bunker, marked 1941 to 1945, likely a World War II era machine gun nest. It's half swallowed by weeds, but still stares out of the road like it's waiting for tanks that never came. No signs, no plaques, just history hiding in plain sight. In Transnistria, there's only one name you'll see everywhere: Sheriff. It's not just a brand, it's a state within an unrecognised state. Founded in 1993, just after the war, by 2 former KGB agents, Sheriff owns the region's biggest supermarket chain, gas stations, mobile network, TV channel, luxury hotels, and even the local football team, FC Sheriff Tiraspol. Locals joke that Sheriff doesn't just sell groceries, it sells governance. The company's influence runs so deep that many government officials are said to be loyal to it. In a place that's unrecognised by the world, Sheriff is the closest thing to a functioning infrastructure, and it's all branded with a 5-pointed star. So when you fill up your tank, buy a SIM card, cheer at the stadium, odds are you're doing business with the Sheriff. Transnistria's market isn't just about fresh produce, it's a pickled playground. We sampled pickled tomatoes with a tang that could wake the dead, garlic that could ward off vampires and your exes, and yes, pickled watermelon. It's sweet, sour, slightly confusing. It's the kind of snack that makes you question everything, then go back for seconds. It's like Transnistria bottled its personality, bold, unexpected, and brined to perfection. At the market, we met a legend, the cheese lady. She gave us a variety of samples of sheep's cheese. Then when Roman translated that I preferred the last one, she gifted us a whole block of it. In a place where plastic money is now rare, kindness certainly isn't. This was a moment of pure dairy diplomacy. Even the bus stops in Transnistria are works of art, covered in chipped mosaics, stars, wheat sheaves, cosmic swirls. They're like Soviet postcards left out in the rain. But my two favourite pieces of art in Transnistria are on these buildings in Tiraspol. They're just so typically Soviet. And this large wall advertisement featuring Yuri Gagarin, still floating around proudly on a wall, smile on his face, like he's waiting for a space Uber. The War Memorial Complex in Tiraspol, known as the Memorial of Glory, is a solemn tribute to those who fought and died in 3 major conflicts: World War II, the Soviet-Afghan War, and the Transnistrian War. It was completed in 1972 and serves as the city's central site of military remembrance. It features an eternal flame burning in honour of fallen soldiers, a decommissioned T-34 tank which saw combat in Hungary during World War II, bronze sculptures and granite plaques commemorating veterans and victims of war, manicured gardens and quiet benches offering space for reflection and remembrance. It's not just a monument, it's a living part of Tiraspol's identity, where locals gather for commemorations and visitors pause to absorb the weight of history. Catherine the Great Park has lush greenery, monuments, free Wi-Fi, and it's a flag fiesta. Alongside the flag of the unrecognised Transnistria, there are other unrecognised countries such as South Ossetia, Nagorno-Karabakh and Abkhazia, along with flags from all other areas of Transnistria. And here's our second Soviet-style canteen. We just popped in for a look around as we planned on eating in the next one. And here we are, the back in the USSR Soviet canteen. In my opinion, this is the best of the 3 Soviet canteens we visited, and the decor just screams,
Comrade, would you like fries with that borscht?
And you have to try the borscht. It tastes like nostalgia and beetroot. Back in the USSR canteen definitely has the best artefacts from the Soviet era, the most authentic food, and the coldest beer. We packed a lot into our day in Transnistria, but unfortunately didn't have enough time to see everything we wanted. I would recommend an overnight stay to get everything in. The Kvint Cognac distillery is definitely worth a visit, and we meant to visit the Transnistrian caviar farm, where sturgeon swim in secrecy and luxury spreads are born. But alas, time slipped away like a fish in a tuxedo. Just before we give away our Transnistria tokens, let me just say a word about our guide, Roman Gurin. If Transnistria feels like a mystery, Roman has all the answers. He met us at Chisinau train station, camera rolling as our sleeper train from Bucharest pulled in. Then straight into Transnistria. No fuss, no confusion, just smooth border crossing and insider stories. Roman is a translator by trade, so speaks very good English, which was a good job because my Russian was awful, as was my Romanian. Roman's got the charm of a local, the precision of a historian, and the patience of someone who's guided a lot of confused tourists. I highly recommend him, and I'll pop his contact details in the video description so you can book your own detour with the man who makes the unrecognised Republic feel unforgettable. You've made it to the end, and now it's your turn to hold a piece of Transnistria. We've got 10 real ruble notes to give away. Just subscribe, like, comment, and send us your mailing address through Instagram, Facebook, or email. Our details will be in the video description below. The first 10 to subscribe, like, and comment will get one. Free of charge, no strings, just strange currency. The first one bags the 100. The next one gets the 50. The next 2 get a 10. The next one gets a 5. And the next 5 get a 1. We will only use your address for this giveaway and it will not be kept long term. And when you receive your rubles, please post a photo and tag us and our channel. There's only 10 notes, so be quick. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video.